Just a Dust Shop by Neon Zangetsu, Chapter 11. Pick it up. What's wrong, Roman? Life flashing before your eyes? You're not living up to the legend, you're slow, sloppy, sad. Ah, there it is. I love the smell of fear in the evening. What are you waiting for? Pick up your cane and pick it up. Pick it up. Today just wasn't Roman's day. Not this day, not this week, not this month, not his life. Because you see, everything had gone wrong. Every damn thing, all of it, every bit of it. It should have been simple. A quick smash and grab on the docks with Adam's lousy animals. Get in, get the dust, get out, then throw said animals under the bus and make off with the profits himself. And with said profits, he could commence the final phase of his master plan, the grand scheme that would finally get that blasted that bloody blonde reaper off his arse once and for all. And he would have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for those meddling kids. But enough that he'd both wasted time and aura on Monkey Boy over there and the damn cat girl. But now the cops were on the way and half the damn place was on fire. He'd be lucky to break even after this. All that dust wasted. He could have even pinned this on the Fang. Those who hadn't rabbited at the first sign of the trouble had been beaten down and left to burn, just like the embers of his life. A muffled groan at his feet roused his temper to new heights. Right. She was still alive. He had his boot on her chest. Time to put the curious cat out of her misery. Listen, you, he thrust his new and improved metallurgical into the girl's face. I have had it up to here with interruptions tonight. Any last words, kitty cat? Just 3, actually. The girl's golden eyes narrowed and her smile shattered in confidence. Dad, your turn. Roman absolutely twitched. Dad, a low whistle pervaded the air. The hairs on the back of his neck rose. He'd never heard that sound before in his life, and yet it provoked a strange, nameless dread in him all the same. Like fingers of ice tracing the length of his spine, a frigid whisper in the air, the promise of a shallow grave, everything he'd ever feared distilled into one singular moment. And still, the whistling persisted. He pivoted in place, frowning now as a heavy fall rolled in from the water's edge. The fires faded, darkness swept in. High overhead, the moon hid her shattered face behind a bank of black clouds. With her passing, he felt the temperatures plummet. His breath emerged as a thin plume of sweat. Steam. His teeth began to chatter. An awful screech of steel dragging against stone snarled across the docks. He gulped. His pale haze pressed in on him from every side, obscuring his vision further still. What the hell is this? He cursed himself for the tremor in his voice, even as he spoke. What kind of semblance? The fondest girl hadn't even gotten her name smirked up at him. Not quite. He growled and stomped down, only for her to vanish in a plume of smoke. Damn tricks! When he got his hands on her. Why had the whistling stopped? A single sharp note etched behind him. Against his better judgment, Roman turned to face it. Red eyes gleamed back at him from the gloom, framed by tammy blonde hair and dimpled whiskered cheeks. Was that a shovel in his hand? It was, even now, dragging against the ground behind, the spitting sparks. Damn thing looked way too sharp for his liking. Why on earth have a shovel if you weren't going to? Oh, that was bad. Sorry to crash the party. Actually, no. I'm not. Naruto Uzumaki smiled back at him, idly shouldering his strange tool. You've been a busy little bee, hiding from me. And dread became mindless terror. No, Roman stamped a finger at him. No, you're not real. You can't be here. Hello, Torchwick. The madman spoke over his rant. Been a while. Do you remember what I said the last time we met? He did. He didn't want to, but he did. Not here. He wasn't supposed to be here. Why in the name of the brothers was he here? Had fun with my little Blake, did you? He waved a hand to the girl, sprawled on her knees behind him. She wanted so badly to beat you on her own. Just her and son. I had to let her try. The slim shoulders rolled in a wry shrug. The foolishness of a father, I suppose. Now she's going to watch, and she's going to learn. Roman paled. Oh shit, you're his kid. This close, he could see the resemblance between them. Nope. All the nope. Time to take the dust and bolt. Neil, he flailed about, looking for any sign of her in the fog. Exit stage left. Nothing happened. Neil, we got to go. A hand closed around his throat, rendering his words a rasp of a gasp. She had her fun. Blood-red slits met his, stark and slitted. Now it's your turn. Frantic, he swung without a cudgel round and bashed at the blonde's arm. Rather than take the blow, Naruto let him go, swayed back. Roman pressed the tack to swing again. He didn't dare squeeze up a shot, not with so much in the way of dust around. He almost wished he could, if only to wipe the smile off that big bastard's face. Instead, his dent came met empty air as the blonde swayed nimbly aside. You're slow, Naruto chided. Twice. Sloppy. 3 times now. Sad. A boot cracked out, caught him in the chest, and sent him slamming down to the docks. He felt 3 ribs shattering on the impact. His precious hat went flying off into the fog. Even as he reached for it, a clawed hand caught him by the wrist and hauled him to his feet. He tried to speak, to say something, anything at all. Clenched knuckles barreled into his face. Teeth flew through the air. He reeled away, only for the hand on his wrist to yank him in for two more. 3, 5, 7. He lost track after that. You're not living up to your legend here, Roman. His tormentor let him drop dangerously by the arm. I thought the gentleman thief would fight harder with his life on the line. He could barely see anymore, let alone speak. You... That's some spirit. Blasted blonde bastard dropped him like a sack of potatoes. Now get up. His legs wouldn't listen. He crawled away. Not like this. Please, not like this. He didn't want to go like this. What's wrong, Roman? He heard the footsteps following him at a laconic pace. Life's flashing before your eyes. Yes, very much so. He saw every second of it now, every mistake he'd ever made, reflection in bitter hindsight, but also the happy moments, the good times, the spiders, Neil, Bill. He had been happy with life, content to do whatever he pleased. This was his way. You only had the one go round, and so you might as well enjoy it. He'd lived by the credo for the longest time, until he raided that store for the damn dust. It was just a dust shop. Yes, but that was my shop. A boot crunched down on his hand, drawing a wail from him. I was out of the game. You dragged me back in. Up came his soul, letting him crawl away once again. What? Nothing to say? And here I thought your kind laughed in the face of death? Well, what are you waiting for? The same foot kicked his cane towards him. Pick your cane up. Another kick sent it skittering his way. Fight for your life. Make your last moment count. Roman eyed it for a moment. No, his nerve failed him, and he scrambled backwards instead. Naruto advanced, shovel in hand. Pick it up, or I'll bury you with it. Roman's resolve broke. He leaped to his feet and ran. He didn't get far. You ruined this for me, Roman. A hand caught him by his collar and hauled him back, nearly choking him outright. Where's your spirit? Where's your fire? Dad, wait. Blake's voice caught through the fog. We need him alive. He knows things about the White Fang. Information. Don't worry, sweetie. Warm breath ghosted over his ear. I won't kill him. Yet. Roman redoubled his struggle. Killing quickly was a mercy. Any criminal worth his salt knew that. Once you were dead, that was it. Game over. Life wasn't a video game. No extra lives here. No continues. Life was harsh. Life was cold. Life would always take what it was owed, one way or another. But you know what they say? Eye for an eye. A knife slashed up. Roman was just a hair too slow. His vision went dark with a scream. John had never fought anyone like Cinder before. It was nothing like training with Pyrrha. His partner took things slow, giving him time to learn, adapt even. Cinder was none of these things, all deadly grace and in your face. She was bloody relentless, forcing him to fight for his life or be mowed down. No time to flinch, no chance to falter. You either adapted or she beat you into the ground. He loved it, less so the pain. But still, breath burst from his lungs as a scorching fist found his torso, folded him in half. He slumped back with a wheeze, rigided himself now, and rushed back in. And Corsair Morse struck true, clashing against a black blade forged of hardened glass, forcing a stalemate. Golden eyes leered at him, half lidded with delight. Come closer, and she grinned over their interlocked weapons. I won't bite. John gulped. Not the biting I'm worried about. Cinder hummed a little. Good, you're cautious. That treat will serve you well. Now defend yourself. A blood-curdling shriek filled the night suddenly, sending a shiver shooting down his spine. John rounded on it with a yelp. What in blazes was that? Cinder blanched. That would be my father at work. Previews. Naruto was helping her. Why? Why was he training her? They couldn't comprehend it, much less bring herself to understand it. Was it out of kindness, annoyance, a desire to see Team Ruby reunited, or simply to get her out of his hair? On a subconscious level, she knew he was her father, her blood, her sire, but even so, she barely knew him, and she'd barely known her, and he'd barely known her until recently. He'd been a perfect stranger to her until then, and yet she hit the ground. Gumbo shot landed beside her, flung at her feet. Her father whistled softly. Pick it up. Blake did, and she grinned. That's my girl. It's decided then. And Kylie laid her drink down with a scowl. Summer mirrored the motion, not looking best pleased. We have an accord then. Willow smiled softly. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I'll agree on one condition. Riven has no place here. Don't have to tell me twice. Naruto took a long drink from his bottle. Screw breaking her legs. I might just kill her straight up if I ever see her again. I know you hate her, but that's still Yang's mother. Doesn't she deserve a chance to reconcile? Nope. But at least Yang. Nope. He smacked his lips with an audible pop. Summer's red eye began to twitch. She paused, waited, and then, let me finish my sentence. Nope. She flew up and she flew over the table at him. Pleased to meet you. I'm Kyojo. She vaguely recalled the old mention of someone called Rengoku with that hair and those eyes. If they weren't related, she'd eat her boot. The young man beamed back at them, utterly unaware of her racing thoughts. Wait, I have a big brother, Ruby squalled. I gotta tell everyone. Oi, what have you done? He grinned. Scorched earth? Ruby hit Winter in a cloud of crimson petals. New sister! Why stomped the foot? Ruby rose. Unhand my sister this instant. But she's my sister too. End of chapter 11.